Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP and today's the 3rd of Jan 2023. Now look guys, there's some massive drama going on today between Winklevoss twins and between Barry Silbert. Now could this be the collapse of Bitcoin? I really am hoping that is not the case, but Barry Silbert is the person behind Grayscale Investments, and as of today they have 643,000 plus Bitcoins. Now if Grayscale were to collapse, there is a very high chance that 643,000 plus Bitcoins could be sold in the market, and that could have a devastating impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So in today's episode, we're going to be discussing some drama that is going on between Barry Silbert and Cameron Winklevoss, and they have unleashed a letter which details some explanation, definitely not ideal, particularly for the start of 2023. Now in today's episode, we're also going to be talking about some positive news about Australia, and this is to do with Bitcoin ATMs. Now looks like Australia is taking over El Salvador in the ranking of Bitcoin ATMs. But my big question is, when you talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, do we really need ATMs in the first place? Because when you talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they are supposed to be digital and virtual, but nonetheless, definitely some good news. Now we also have some update regarding Dogecoin, and looks like they are setting aside some funds in order to help build the Dogecoin Foundation. So it is possible that in the next few days, there might be a temporary pump in the price of Dogecoin. And we're going to end the podcast talking about a Bitcoin party, which is taking place on the 30th of January in this year. So definitely Orange Party is making its news in the first month of 2023. Now regarding UAE, we have two news, and the first news is about the Ministry of Artificial Intelligence office in UAE was in collaboration with ADCB, that is Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, and they discussed artificial intelligence and blockchain future in banking sectors, and it is none other than Chainalysis that has helped them to build a structure and a training program. So we'll be sharing that thoughts in today's episode. Now the second news is about a company called GOQII, and they are taking steps in UAE with Web3 based digital health metaverse. Now look guys, I'm not at all a fan of Web 3.0 because I do believe that Web 3.0 is just a way for startups to get funding from venture capitals and hedge funds, and to be honest, they are a very limited use case of Web 3.0, at least for now. After a decade, once the blockchain trilemma problem is solved, that is when we need to talk about self-sovereign identity, and that is when Web 3.0 would actually kick in. Because at the moment, Web 2.0 does pretty much 95% of the things that Web 3.0 promises to do. So I'm going to be sharing my opinions and thoughts on that. Now, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, it has marginally gone better since the last 24 hours. Now, could this be because of Joe Biden signing the $1.7 trillion government spending bill, which I did discuss in yesterday's podcast? So we're going to be talking about that in today's episode. So let's kickstart today's episode. So welcome everyone, it's ATM here in Dubai, and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East, and the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And every Fridays guys, we have an episode called Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse, so please check out those episodes as well. The format for Metaverse Everything is completely different, and I tend to publish a daily and weekly report via my LinkedIn, so please follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race. And Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since you've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, the global cryptocurrency market has marginally gone up and it has crossed the $800 billion mark. And as of today, it is at $809.50 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone up by 1.22%. Now, could this be the start of where the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will start to increase? I highly doubt it, because there's some massive drama going on in the world of cryptocurrencies, and unfortunately, Grayscale Investments could potentially go belly up. And if that thing happens, I wouldn't be surprised if the global cryptocurrency market goes well below the 500 or maybe even below the $400 billion mark. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the world of cryptocurrencies, particularly this week. Now, the total crypto market volume of the last 24 hours is at $24.01 billion. Absolutely terrible numbers, considering the fact that since the last 24 hours, it has gone up by 32.96%. Definitely not an ideal start in 2023. And look, guys, one thing which I did mention in yesterday's podcast, on an average day, the total volume of all cryptocurrencies should be well above the $100 billion mark. So we're literally talking of 1/5 of the volume right now. And apart from that, it has also gone up by 32.96% in the last 24 hours. So definitely terrifying numbers. The total volume in DeFi is at $1.77 billion, and the total value locked is $38.72 billion. And exactly 1 year ago, on the 3rd of Jan 2022, the total value locked did reach a new all-time high of $240 billion. So in a year's time, $200 billion has been wiped off from the DeFi protocols. Now, as of today, guys, the 3rd of Jan, Lido is once again leading the total value locked with $5.99 billion, and the dominance of Lido is 15.34%. Now, one thing you need to remember, that Lido's total value locked is already taken out from the total value locked, because what Lido essentially does is it takes funds from other protocols and reinvests it again. So if you were to take Lido, it will essentially be double counting. And Solana blockchain was notoriously known in the first quarter of 2022 for reporting double entry. Now, the second one is Maker protocol, and the total value locked in Maker is $5.93 billion. Now, in 2022 and the years before, Maker was leading the total value locked in the DeFi protocol. Aave is number 3rd at $3.74 billion locked. Core Finance at $3.63 billion, and finally Uniswap at $3.33 billion. And once again, guys, for the 3rd of Jan, the volume of stablecoin is absolutely terrifying, and there are two metrics once again. The volume is ridiculously low at only $21.70 billion, and apart from that, stablecoin accounts for 90.39% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, so definitely not ideal. And out of this $21.70 billion, Tether USDT accounts for $16.41 billion, Circle USD accounts for $1.61 billion, and Binance USD accounts for $1.35 billion. Now let's look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market share is at $322 billion. Ethereum's market share is $148 billion, still shy of 50% of the market cap of Bitcoin. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $12.2 billion. Ethereum is at $3.73 billion, and the dominance of Bitcoin has marginally gone down, and it is currently at 13.90%, and Ethereum is at 18.40%. Now let's look at the market cap of the smart contracting platform. Ethereum is at $149 billion. And look, guys, if you were to compare this market cap with the 24-hour trading volume, the data just absolutely does not make sense. So Ethereum's market cap is at $149 billion, but the trading volume is only $3.73 billion, which means the fact is people are just not using Ethereum protocol. The worst is even Binance. Binance BNB's market cap is $39.37 billion, but listen to this, guys. The 24-hour trading volume is hovering only around $300 million. So definitely something is going on wrong, that people are not bothered about using blockchain protocol. Now, when we talk about blockchain being the new frontier, the biggest innovation, unfortunately, something which I've mentioned a number of times in my podcast, there are very limited use cases of blockchain protocol. Now, one thing I must admit that CC did put up a video on his Twitter account which actually stated that we are still in the early stages of blockchain innovation, and the analogy that he gives is of a car, that we are still at the engine stage and the other part still needs to be developed. Now, I 100% disagree, guys, because at the end of the day, there are very limited use cases of blockchain protocol, and this is where I kind of sympathize and agree with Bitcoin maximalist, because beyond making transfer of payments, I do not see much use case of blockchain technology. And later on, when we discuss about the news from UAE, I'm also going to be giving my thoughts and opinions about Web 3.0 and its limited use case, so stick around and listen to that as well. Now, the third market cap of smart contracting platform is Cardano at $8.77 billion, and Polkadot is at number 4 at $5.36 billion, followed by Tron at $5.10 billion. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is $16,730, and since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone up by 0.52%. Since the last 7 days, so it is still down by 0.95%. Ethereum is currently at $1,216. Since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone up by 1.28%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 0.57%. Binance Coin is at $246. Now look, guys, the price of Ethereum and Binance has remained absolutely constant for almost 6 months now. The price of Bitcoin has gone down considerably. It has fluctuated quite a lot, but Binance Coin is definitely looking steady. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some notorious activity going on, and if someone within Binance is trying to manage or manipulate the price in order to it remain consistent. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And looking at the 24-hour trading volume of Binance Coin, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some heavy manipulation going on in order for the price of Binance Coin to remain consistent. Now, since the last 24 hours, it has marginally gone up by 0.93%, and since the last 7 days, it is marginally up by 1.14%. So overall, the global cryptocurrency market is definitely not looking good, but the biggest threat getting into 2023 is by Barry Silbert, and Cameron Winklevoss thus called Barry Silbert as bad faith still stall the tactics. Now what happened earlier today is that Cameron Winklevoss did put up an open letter via Twitter where he's clearly stating that it's been 47 days since Genesis halted withdrawals, and Barry Silbert is the guy managing Genesis Exchange. So what I'd really recommend you to do is read through that letter because it is only 2 pages long, and he is bashing Barry Silbert for a lot of notorious activity. And he's also said that Barry Silbert has borrowed $1.67 billion, but Barry Silbert, who has remained silent for almost 4 to 6 months now, has clearly stated in a reply that DCG Group, or Digital Currency Group, that he is managing did not borrow $1.675 billion from Genesis, and the Digital Currency Group has never missed any interest payments to Genesis. So look guys, there's a lot of drama going on between Cameron Winklevoss and Barry Silbert. Now look guys, Cameron Winklevoss, they are the owners of Gemini, which is a leading cryptocurrency exchange, but looks like they have a partnership with Genesis, and because Genesis is managed by Barry Silbert and Genesis has halted withdrawals, but based on the drama it says that DCG Group has never missed any interest payments to Genesis. So there's a lot of drama and chaos going on, and in that reply Barry Silbert has also stated that the next loan maturity is in May of 2023. It is a bit ironic that Barry Silbert, who has rather remained silent for a very long time, is going ahead and giving out a reply. Now Barry Silbert also manages Grayscale Investment. Now look guys, if Genesis were to collapse, if DCG Group were to collapse, because it is connected to Grayscale Investments, which currently holds 643,000 bitcoins, it would be forced to sell these bitcoins, and if that thing happens, it would mean that the price of Bitcoin will fall down drastically, and I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market goes well below the $400 billion mark. Looks like that is what we are trending towards. And CoinDesk did put up an article that states that Gemini co-founder, that is Cameron Winklevoss, accuses digital currency group Silbert of bad faith stalling in $900 million locked fund dispute. What I would really recommend you to do is Crypto Hours on YouTube has put up a brilliant video explaining the entire drama. Watch that. It does provide a very beautiful snapshot, and apart from that, read through the article by CoinDesk, because in the video Crypto Hours did actually say that CoinDesk is also managed by Barry Silbert, so it is possible that they might not be giving out full information. Now what the article states is that Winklevoss's letter comes as his company faces major financial headwinds, including a lawsuit against the firm's earned product alleging fraud and security laws violation, and a mob of angry customers who have been unable to access the accounts. So based on this article, it does look like Genesis has halted withdrawals, and looks like Barry Silbert is the person to be blamed for it. So an interesting drama. Now let's try to wait and see, and I'm just hoping that this does not have an impact on the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Now let's talk about some news all the way from down under, and this is to do with Bitcoin ATM. Now Cointelegraph has reported that in the last 3 months of 2022, Australia has deployed 99 crypto ATMs, and this data is confirmed by Coin ATMRadar. And as of January 1st, 2023, Australia has recorded 219 crypto ATMs, overshadowing El Salvador by 7 ATMs. Now the article states that the total number of crypto ATMs worldwide is 38,602, out of which 6,071 ATMs were installed in 2022. Now my big question is, when you talk about cryptocurrencies and when you talk about digital currencies, do we really need ATMs in the first place? It is kind of like taking a step backwards. But nonetheless, maybe someone who's accustomed to using ATMs and is still wary of using cryptocurrencies, using their mobile phone and laptop, it might be a good idea. And guys, going back to 2016, there were a lot of rumors that Dubai did actually install the first ATM in the world, and unfortunately, that did turn out to be fake news. And there were pictures circulating that in Dubai Mall, there was an ATM which was claimed to be the first Bitcoin ATM in the world, but it was 100% fake news. Now guys, let's talk about some positive news about Dogecoin, and there is some update regarding Dogecoin. and the Dogecoin Core Development Fund, a new community managed by existing core developers and Dogecoin Foundation board director signatories, has taken the step of moving 5 million Dogecoin, which is approximately $360,000 worth of Dogecoin, to the development fund, with the intent that it will be allocated to Dogecoin Core, the development of which is critical and to the benefit of Dogecoin ecosystem. So could it be possible in the next few weeks or so, we might be seeing some newer applications being developed, making smoother transition and making smoother usage of Dogecoin? It would be really interesting if Elon Musk does actually have some merger or some tie-up with Dogecoin, because this would definitely take Dogecoin to the moon. Now, if you read through the official blog, it does give the address so absolutely anyone can validate where the funds are being used. This, guys, is the most beautiful use case of blockchain technologies, particularly cryptocurrencies. And one example which I tend to give my clients is, let's say, if the Indian government or any government were to accept cryptocurrencies, because of the nature of open blockchain, anyone can validate the transaction. And the example that I give is, let's say if a government decides to spend, let's say, $200,000 worth of Bitcoin or Dogecoin or any other cryptocurrencies in building a bridge, absolutely anyone can validate where the funds have gone to. Has it gone to the contractors? The contractors can then even share what they have utilized the funds from. Have they utilized it to purchase cements or for transportation or absolutely anything? But once cryptocurrency goes mainstream, if government starts accepting it because of the nature of open source and publicly verifiable, absolutely anyone in the world can validate and check where the funds have been utilized. And that, my friend, is a brilliant use case of using cryptocurrencies working in blockchain protocol. Now, going back to the news about Dogecoin, the Doge held in the wallet will disburse rewards to developers of Dogecoin Core for work on all contributions, no matter how big or small, and absolutely anyone can publicly verify where these transactions are taking place. Now let's end today's cryptocurrency news with some positive news about Bitcoin Beach Party, and looks like the Orange Pill Party is arranging this event on the 30th of January 2023. So follow me on LinkedIn, guys, and read through the article. It does give the official invite as well. So definitely brilliant stuff. Now let's talk about two news regarding UAE. The first one has to do with artificial intelligence, and this is done by the Ministry of State of Artificial Intelligence. But let me try to give some more information, because this news was publicized by Emirates News Agency, which is the official news distribution channel, and the website is wam.ae, that is W for water, A for alpha, M for mother.ae. So the Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence, in collaboration with ADCB, that is Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, discussed artificial intelligence and blockchain future in banking, and the Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence, Digital Economy and Remote Work Application Office, in collaboration with Chainalysis, the leading company providing blockchain data and analysis to governments, banks and businesses worldwide, organized a training program for Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank employees and directors at the Coders HQ as part of the National Program for Coders Initiative. And guys, if you've been in the cryptocurrency space, you would have definitely heard of Chainalysis. They're definitely loved by the governments but hated by Bitcoin maximalists, and Chainalysis is an American blockchain analysis firm headquartered in New York City, and the company was founded by Michael Groninger and Jonathan Levine in 2014. So essentially what Chainalysis does is they do a lot of forensic analysis on Blockchain Explorer and quite a lot of other. And guys, going back to the news also mentioned about Coders HQ, and Coders HQ in 2022 did have quite a lot of NFT sessions in Toda, that is Theatre of Digital Arts, in the beautiful location of Suit Medina, and also had few sessions at Emirates Tower. And Sakar bin Khalib, who's the Executive Director of Artificial Intelligence Office, said that adopting advanced technology is a top priority in the UAE government, aiming to build a sustainable economy based on knowledge and innovation. These programs align with the National Program for Coders' goal to empower the government and private sector with the digital tools and enhance the talent's educational environment. And bin Khalib added that the program aimed to build the capacities of the elite specialists on design solutions to ensure cybersecurity in various blockchain fields and enhance the readiness of talents to manage technology challenges with the best techniques. So definitely brilliant stuff. And let me try to give some more information on what the program was, because the program started with a workshop presented by Khalid Al-Naimi, the project manager in the Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence, Digital Economy and Remote Workplace Application Office, and they discussed the UAE's national strategy for artificial intelligence, one of the various strategies leading to the UAE Sentinel of 2071 and the UAE's digital economy strategy, aiming to involve them with UAE's vision in the digital field and the journey of success to make the UAE a leading country in artificial intelligence and technology. In Chain Analysis presented a workshop titled Future of Banking, aiming to introduce a brief about blockchain and NFT, the future of blockchain and banking, and ways to enhance its technique and the work models and utilization in creating banking solution. The workshop provides ADCB employees artificial intelligence and blockchain experience by this program, which supports their capacities and creates investment opportunities to develop the banking sector. The program also discussed the benefits of enhancing security with decentralized technology to process financial transactions and regulate virtual assets. Now look guys, at a macro level, this is a brilliant move. Institutions and companies educating the staff on the importance of blockchain technology is such a brilliant move. And the Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence helping companies to do that is definitely helping Dubai and UAE leading the artificial and blockchain technology space. So definitely brilliant stuff. Now guys, the second news that I'm going to be talking about is GOQII, and they are taking steps in UAE with its Web3 based digital healthcare. Now let me share my opinions and thoughts on that. Now let me try to spell out the website. It is spelled as G for George, O for Orange, Q for Quebec, I for India, I for India.com. Now this company was founded in 2014 and it is an Indian fitness technology company headquartered in California that offers a wearable fitness band with a mobile app and personalized remote health coaching. Now the company was founded by Vishal Gondal, who's the former CEO and founder of Indian Games. Now Akshay Kumar, who's one of the leading Bollywood actor and a legend, is also the brand ambassador for the company. Now what I really do not like about this news is because he mentioned Web 3.0. Now look guys, Web 3.0 has very limited use case. What I'd really recommend you to do is, I do have an episode called the Central Bank Digital Currencies. Now in that episode, I did actually answer if CBDCs or central bank digital currencies are Web 3.0, and unfortunately Web 3.0 has very limited use cases beyond logging in. So rather than using your email address and password, if we as individuals start using private key, which is connected to the public key, which is connected to the public address, that is one use case of Web 3.0. So when you talk about metaverse protocols, if they are asking you to use your email address, unfortunately that is not Web 3.0, but the ability to log in using your private key or your Ethereum address is Web 3.0. So this whole notion and the promise of self-sovereign identity sounds great, but unfortunately blockchain protocols cannot solve that, at least yet, and for that you need to truly understand what the blockchain trilemma problem is. Because when you talk about blockchain trilemma, we still need to figure out working across decentralization, scalability and security without compromising on any of these things. So whenever a company uses Web 3.0, it is just a terminology to get funding from venture capitals and hedge funds. But nonetheless, let me try to give some information about this news. Now, GOQ is a pioneer in the preventive healthcare tech space and declares its foray into the United Arab Emirates. Now, UAE will be the one-third marketplace for them after India and UK, and establish its presence with comprehensive preventive health surroundings and Web 3.0 based digital health metaverse. So it looks like they've just added Web 3.0 as a marketing tool, and the company was also available at GITEX Global, which was the world's largest tech show and had dedicated to investing and expanding its base within the GCC region. Now look guys, I did attend GITEX Global and I did mention that I was extremely disappointed particularly with the presenters at GITEX, and I'm talking only about the blockchain and the metaverse space. A lot of them truly were not even aware of what blockchain protocols are or what even metaverse is. I could literally count it in one hand, but the speakers actually knew what they were talking about, but that is a completely different topic. Now, going back to the news, GOQ has cooperated with Harley Worldwide Clinical Center, intending to drive health metaverse in UAE, and with this partnership, the occupants in UAE can now benefit from the comprehensive digital diabetes care program. Now, this declaration was made at GOQ's yearly occasion called Reimagine Health in the Metaverse on the 8th of December in 2022 at the Geo World Conference Center in Miami. But I'm still trying to figure it out. Where does Web 3.0 kick in and how does it help in the metaverse? Looks like they're just taking the buzzword of Web 3.0 and metaverse and most likely trying to get some funds, maybe from venture capitals or hedge fund investors. The Harley International Medical Clinic will select customers with diabetes on the GOQ Health platform and assist them in dealing with the diabetes. And the GOQ Diabetes Care Program is carried out to assist individuals with diabetes in dealing with their condition and taking responsibility for their health with external aid and expert guidance. Now listen guys, when you talk about Web 3.0, ideally it would be the customer who will be having access to the data in a realistic world. When you talk about combining it in the metaverse, all of the consultation hours will be done purely in the metaverse using virtual reality, augmented reality and mixed reality headsets. But the protocol is not ready yet and it might take at least a decade for these things to play out. But nonetheless, what they claim is that every client will be onboarded on a comprehensive digital platform and furnished with cutting-edge associated devices, health coaches, and doctors who will direct them to change their way of life and control the HbA1c levels. Now, after a decade, it could be possible that all the consultation hours will be done via virtual reality and augmented reality headsets. So essentially, a patient can just be at home. The doctor could be in any part of the world, will be able to measure your vital signs and then offer consultation. Now, this news says that every client will have the choice of making the virtual avatars associated with their GOQ age, and this would provide the clients with an exceptional and sensational choice of getting more youthful digitally, sharing it with the companions, and being persistently motivated to keep up with the healthier services. To be honest, I really am not buying this news. Looks like they're just taking the buzzword of Web 3.0, the buzzword of metaverse, and trying to make a news of it. Now, I do feel at this point of time, the entire thing can be done better without Web 3.0 in a centralized entity without a metaverse. But these are my thoughts and opinions. Now, look, guys, if you disagree to it, please mention them in the comments below. And if you'd like to be on my podcast, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website, that is blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now, for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. Now, I have a question by Ruby who asks, will there be any fad in the crypto world in 2023? Now, Ruby, I definitely think in the second quarter of 2023, I'm pretty much sure that there might be some new fad. I really am not sure what new fad is, but most likely I do feel that the new fad may be connected in the world of DeFi or maybe in the world of STO, which is security token offering. Now, one thing what people don't realize is after ICO, security token offering was supposed to be the new hype. It looks like that hype did actually disappear, and there were a lot of videos in the initial stages which talked about how STO will be 90 times much more than ICO. And the hype surprisingly did die down. And that time the news that there was a whole NFT hype, because of which the STO hype did actually die down. Now I wouldn't be surprised that if STO does actually make a comeback in the second quarter of 2023. Now apart from that, what I'm really seeing right now, Ruby, is about Web 3.0, and one of the news that I did actually mention is about Web 3.0 earlier today, and this is regarding a company which is planning to enter into the UAE. Now look, Ruby, there are very limited use case of Web 3.0. There are very limited use case of blockchain. It's so critical that we truly understand the limited use case of blockchain technology. And one thing which I was thinking about yesterday as well, I'm planning to have a small series, maybe of 3 to 4 episodes, explaining the limited use case of blockchain. Now, if you do have any name or title for that, mention them in the comments below, and I'll definitely give you a credit. Now, what I'm thinking is in that episode to highlight some of the facts in the cryptocurrency world. So answering your question, what I do feel is there might be some fad, most likely in the second quarter of 2023, and that most likely will be in the world either of DeFi or security token offering. That is what I particularly think. I have another question by Santosh who asks, when will Ethereum flip Bitcoin? Now this, Santosh, is an absolutely brilliant question. Now ever since the actual change from Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0 or Ethereum consensus layer happened, I have been tracking the market cap, the 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Santosh, to be honest, the only reason why I started to do that, because I wanted to check when would Ethereum flip Bitcoin. Now I must admit, Santosh, that I was 100% wrong, because my prediction was looking at somewhere between 12 to 18 months after the merge. Now we are almost 6 to 8 months since the merge has happened, and looks like Ethereum might take a much longer time. Now to answer your question, I do feel that at least 18 months from now, so hopefully after the next halving of Bitcoin, is when we might see Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. Now there are two ways of looking at it. In terms of market cap, I definitely do feel Ethereum will flip Bitcoin, but in terms of price, I don't see Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. But once again, Santosh, I could be miserably wrong with that as well. So that's all for today, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one ahead. Bye-bye.